Hmm. Dude, iTunes won't like load the song, and I'm about to get mad. It's annoying, man. It happens every time. Gosh, it's like moving mountains and the entire planet Earth to try to just play this freaking playlist every time. Actually, it's not just this playlist; it's everything that comes on iTunes. Man, it's stupid. No power. What you got no power for? Posted. Oh. Or fucking short circuit and melted. Oh dang. Oh dang. Hold on. I mean, shit, dog. Poop, dog. Yeah, so you dumped out on me whenever I was asking if you had a chat bot. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, don't even think about your run-of-the-mill chatbot. Like, what would you want, like, features of your chatbot to be? That could be sounds, redeeming store stuff or something. Like, the limit is your own creativity. So what would you want it to be? You haven't joined the Discord, dude. Because it would be stuff like this. That, like, you know, you don't have to be a developer to join my Discord. Just like ideas and stuff like that of like, hey, I thought this would be cool, or this would be cool, kind of thing. Hey, buddy. Yeah, so there's ever a time. But yeah, because then you could always post it in like, go secret recipe agent. Like, that's a game I'm making in Unreal for ideas. And then Hackerman's is a game I'm working on in a game jam that I'll be working on this week after work. Or every day after work, trying to get parts of it working. So we'll put up stream docket will always be for. How do I create form? Able to create form. Chatbot ideas. There's a way to add form. Way to do it. So like, off the. What would be like a good word to describe that's like not your typical, we'll say atypical chatbot? Request features that are normally not seen or used. Typical chatbot. I did. I'll wait for you. No, yeah, it's nothing like, hey, right now, gun to your head, what'd you have to have? It was just more of like, hey, think about it, because I'm making one. I was kind of thinking like, you know, sound alerts and stuff like that, or like kind of like channel point redemptions without having to, you know, the redemptions or whatever, even like creating little mini sites. Well, that might be a little much, because then that's how they would know about what to redeem, how to redeem it, kind of thing. Make little web pages off of it. But you could host that with something like Blogspot or something like that, or even WordPress. But I started a thread in there. So like, I'll just go ahead and tag you in. But this is what we're working on right now. So how did the rest of the duty go? Yeah. So I wrote this earlier with some assistance. Because I had to figure this NV. It wasn't processing my NV, my environment file or whatever, if anybody knows. It's basically a safe way to like not hard code like secret stuff like passwords, database configurations. Like you don't want to send that on the client side or have anybody see it or whatever, because that's not considered safe. I need to charge my Samsung phone so I can get Stream Deck back. Or even like do like I was crapping on people LMAO COD be COD, you know. Yeah, it is. Is what it is. I get rid of this cough, man. Okay, so I don't know what that means. I need to have something because me no understand. Here, what's up here? Please go line by line and explain. I am familiar with the first 3 lines, but let me try to explain first and see if I am in the ballpark. Line 1. We are following client to connect and awaiting its response. This is an async function. Oh my god. Good. I didn't want it to answer me anyway, because I didn't mean to press enter. Okay, this is an async function. Function, man, it feels good just to be relaxing in bed with it. Oh, sweet daisy goo. My sweet lady's just chilling on the couch right now. Not too much longer till we're going to bed. In line 2, logs the connection to logs the successful connection. 1L, Drew. 1L. Line 3 stores the response in a variable. Line 4, I think, returns a result object where we access the rows property, and that could go for whatever query gets inserted. So basically what that means is we're creating a generalized function that can take in any query parameters. So that could be a insert, update, delete, alter kind of thing, where we don't have to create a separate function, since Nectarine is a modular, query based config library as well. Huge backend basically library. We can craft our own SQL statements in a safe way, and then send that query into there, and then input the values that we want, since we're already connected to the database. Assuming, and hopefully the people that would code their own backends would know what rows and data or in their databases. And this is just going to extend from, we're going to start with Postgres, go to MongoDB, then GraphQL. So we cover the three types of databases, right? We have the relational, NoSQL, and then we have a graph-based query language, right? And then we'll extend it out to something like MySQL, MariaDB, and then DynamoDB, and then I don't know if there's another whatever Amazon, I think it's Neptune, is what their GraphQL is. Let's see if I'm right. I might be right. I might be wrong. But let me put this code into ChatGPT and see where we go. Oh, I'm mostly in the ballpark, it says. Hey, sweet. You correctly identified this as an asynchronous function call that connects the client, which is likely an instance of a Postgres, blah, 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 blah. Yep. Yep. No, thanks. I have one. I just copied the try block to make sure I knew what was happening. I need to get better at writing these types of functions. So essentially, I was actually in the ballpark. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. We're not hard coding values in there. It's already a parameter, right? Oh, no. Sorry, my eyes are a little bit fuzzy. This is the function of getting user ID. So we're taking the query function. Well, no, that should say PG SQL. Right? There's no PG SQL. Because we have a predefined function, remember? Let's see what it says, because I'm ignoring all that. Excuse me. Function. Dude. Where's my function, man? Like, you're forgetting this entire function, bruh. Like, you've omitted this entire function, dude. Like, come on, bruh. Maybe if I talk like that, do it from now on, like it'll like chill out. Like, what are you doing, dude? Mm-hmm. Thank you. But it's not gonna throw an error, but whatever. Duh, duh. Fixed. Wait, was there one fix? Yeah, there's just one fix. Remember, we're gonna have a SQL object in here that's composed of our parsed YAML file that has each SQL statement broken down into like their parts. Like it's almost like a phonetic kind of way of breaking down a SQL statement into almost like a subject, action, or like verb, adverb, whatever. You fill in the pieces there. So right above this try catch, that's where we would define where we have this load YAML function, which I think should be defined in its own little file. Like we have like a utility file of like helper functions. Like PGSQL would actually be in there instead of being in PGZ. PGSQL would just set up like a basic database for each thing, like say like how we have the query broken down over here. Let me pull it up. Like how we have it broken down to analytics, auth, content, finance, blah, 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 blah. We would do the exact same thing with setting up a database schema and throwing up those databases with each one of these things. So we're not technically creating a centralized API for Nectarine. We're trying to create these different parts so people can create their own centralized APIs, their own unified databases, and so on and so forth. And doing it in a safe, modular, scalable way. What was I doing? So PGSQL needs to have its own thing. I mean, so technically that's what this is, PGZ. This is what that is. Technically. So honestly, we could get rid of this. We figured out the problem. So we can do... I want to do it at the bottom. Export default. Right? Isn't that how it's supposed to be done? Although I thought I was supposed to match that. But I'm not here to judge. That's our first helper function. So we're going to take out load YAML. Oh, sweet. I just figured out how to do that. And then we're going to write an API new folder, call it util file, call it util.js export dot load YAML equals paste this, that, Cut that. Put that. Do file path. Exit that. Save that. That is our util script that we can then go back to server, import, load YAML from util, yes, I think, take that out. And let's see if that works. Are we? Yeah, node server. To load an ES module. Okay. Had it open in two different things. So now let's do this. Package JSON. I'm used to being in NeoVim. Hitting escape every time. Let's try it one more time. Unexpected token. Maybe it's exports. Request. Yeah, it does. It's right there. Why doesn't this function work, man? Work, man. Work, man. Work, man. But you need it to be async if it's. Oh, doesn't free. Okay. Oh. Require. No, but I'm doing import. So this is getting. Don't tell me why. I did that. What if I wanted util.js to hold helper function? Because this was working without type modules, so I wasn't using that, I was using import. I knew there's a exports dot whatever you could do an object. Oh, so just export? Okay. That's simple enough. Export. Sync. Load YAML. That. Did. Good. There are some. So let's pull a browser back up to local host 4000. This was working before. So there's something else going on. Cannot read the properties of undefined of reading yet. Something's coming up. Okay, so it's not fetching the data correctly. And I don't know why. Let's take this out. For my own sanity. What it was. Told you I didn't need async await because the files are already on the server. Lord Haywire, what's up, dude? I was about to say first time chat. No, you weren't. You weren't here the other day, but you were in your other account. Okay, we moved our helper functions, so it works. And let's go back to our utils. I got about another hour. That's good. Oh, I need glasses, man. Do I play any Mech Warrior? No, because I have no idea what that is. Can you Steam link something in chat, please? So I can educate myself upon what this game is and what is it about. Okay, so util function works. And so now our SQL works. And so if we need to fix this. I don't think we do because I did the right to export. Sure. Go back to Soiva. Just gonna leave that as save. Let's see if that even. Not even gonna worry about it. Phone's telling me they have an hour left. They have a mod called YAML. Does it have anything to do with the yet another markup language? Because that would be super deep cuts of a mod that was not meant for a lot of people. Importing. Can we import PG SQL from DBZ PG PGZ J. So, what we could do, how would I want to essentially, I would connect that brain bust. That is what YAML stands for in programming. YAML is MechWarrior stands for yet another mech lab. Dude, it has to be, but yeah, that's what YAML stands for, yet another markup language. Or at least that's what I'm, if I remember. Dude, I learned that so long. YAML stands for YMYL, Google says. Your money, your life. But yes, it says yet another markup language. And if you are unfamiliar, this is what it looks like. It's like the Python of config files to me, is what I call it. It's based on new lines and tabs. Dictates their hierarchy. So no curly brackets, very minimal string, like apostrophes and stuff like that. No commas, no semicolons. Easily readable. You can parse it and turn it into a JavaScript object via JS YAML. It's just cleaner to me. And I'm trying to basically phoneticize, if that's even a word, like SQL statements. As I don't mind JSON, but like I hate all the quotes it has. Like, I'm a big dude on readability. You know what I mean? Like, why do you have to have like so many strings? Like, let's do a JSON file of the same thing versus like an object, right? We'll do user.json. And then you start with the object, and then we'll do, I forgot how to split. So it's user, create another object. You have to create another nested. Get, create another nested. And full tab. And then user by age, brackets. You see how like already, like with JSON, like just like 3 layers in, I'm 4 brackets deep. Versus like, okay, this is like super readable. It's almost like it's like Python and Markdown had like a love child. But like, that's what JSON looks like. It's not bad. Like, a lot of JSON is like the language between languages, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like, that's how, like, you know, systems talk to each other that are totally like incompatible. Like a C++ legacy, I say C++, a C legacy API talks to a modern web stack is through like JSON most of the time. Like, what I would rather do is like how most APIs send. They just send stuff like this. It's the same thing, but it does like, we'll say user, but then it's get, and then you just turn it into a JavaScript object, right? You're still 4 brackets deep, right? But you still can get somewhat of a more readable like response from it. Then there's another one that ChatGPT like recommended to me. Like I'll ask it, what does TOML stand for and look like? Like this, I've heard of OCaml, which I don't know. That's another markup language. Oh, that's not bad. I can dig that. See? Racist. Can be complex, not if you like name your fields correctly, you know what I mean? Like all this kind of stuff is preventable, you know what I mean? Just by standards. Like before you go in, it's like, I'm not going to use quotations, I'm just going to use straight up like what the field is. And then if you have to, use the language to cast it to whatever, say like in the integer, so to speak. So if you're using like say in JavaScript or Python, you just cast it to an integer or string where you have to. You know what I mean? There's functions inside the language to prevent that. You see how like, you see that, dude? Like, I have this strong like imposter syndrome that like I'm gonna regurgitate like before it happens. Like I asked the AI, like I already kind of know in my brain, but I can't put my words into a table like this. But it's basically what I said, and I don't really comment much, but I do like that there is the option to comment in YAML, so you kind of know what's going on with the configuration file in this, so to speak. But, you know, TOML, you know, appreciate it, man. But, like, I feel like that's where it, like, holds me back on my resume kind of thing. Is, like, I'm putting myself through my eyes, so to speak, and I have like half-baked projects in my GitHub that are like aren't finished. I think the closest thing I have anything to being finished is Juice, and it's not really. It's a well-organized crap show at this moment in time. So, but at some point, I will include like this, just, you know, the same iterations, but whatever files that whatever developer is comfortable working with. Or if they haven't worked with a markup language before, they can choose like, oh, which one looks better to me? Oh, I like TOML or YAML or JSON or just regular JavaScript objects kind of thing. I don't know why I pulled myself to like the tools side of creating things website wise, or yeah, like web dev wise, but I wanted to get back into creating or coding back my like the Shopify, WooCommerce, like the e-commerce stuff. But like I find like the Kiwi engine, which is basically what these are, like all the modules together are Kiwi engine. Like I want to build these out like so much, because this is where like most of the applications will be built using is all these libraries, because I want to rewrite this stuff over and over and over. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, these YAML files, or these, I'll call them config files, these config files end up breaking up to where you're not hard coding or hard writing SQL statements, or you're not listing like almost like sentences in a way in a file, like a environment file, like you're not bulking that up. So you can have a modular, reusable, easily just change once, use everywhere kind of thing, because all you're doing is parsing the command, right? And this is where the phoneticization, is that a word? I don't know. But so like if you broke down like what was that API? Like I just sent the API like a straight SQL statement just so I knew that the destructuring of the object was working. So like select everything from users kind of thing. So you have like select is the type of action we're doing, the action, or this is the action. What did I say? I don't even have it memorized. So you have type, fields, action, table, conditions, formula. So it's like you have the type, the fields that are being changed, the action of what's changing. So you have select these fields from, or it have like what, add column, insert into, alter, blah blah blah. So we go over it again. Insert, or sorry, why did I say insert? Select everything from users. So we don't really need a conditions or a formula. So say if it was like that, get users by age, it would be select ID name from, or it's like select these fields from table action. You know what I mean? Like it's in its infantile state. It's in its infantile state. It's gonna be great, but the functions are not working yet. They're not working yet. But what I told him, I said we're gonna get these functions worked out, and I told him we're gonna get these functions worked out day one of when I'm in office. I don't know why I did that. I just watched that thing on Asman's like Just Chatting channel or whatever. He was watching that Trump thing. I guess the rally before the inauguration or whatever. But essentially what Nectarine is aiming to do is, part of it is basically creating SQL statements into like modular sentences, so you can almost like noun, verb, adverb, like I was doing, like object of the sentence, the object, indirect object, direct, stuff like that. I'm getting too in the weeds with like grammar, but essentially we're trying to create like, stuff like that so we can destructure in a logical way. And I should probably document this, so let me bring up Obsidian. You don't use Obsidian, Lord?
If you don't use Obsidian, my lord. If I do recommend one tool, it would be Obsidian, my lord. Haywire.
And forgive me, I go into random... We'll put in Kiwi for now as a new note. Nectarine. I've never even heard of it. Maybe you've mentioned it to me. I don't think I have. Basically, Obsidian is like a special like markdown tool, and now it has like a whole bunch of plugins now. Like I don't even know what to. Oh snap! So like you can have like a graph kind of thing. Didn't know that existed. Start a journal. I didn't even know that. Didn't even know that existed. I don't know what a canvas is, but it's basically like a cool way to keep notes and write documentation easy. It's like a markdown, like IDE, I guess you could call it. But supposedly there's like plugins for it. I don't know like how to do that. But I like using it to write like documentation or like technical kind of stuff, because like you can easily do stuff like, let me try to do some like different like stuff like this. Like you can do latex, and also what, I don't know what they call this, but the inline stuff where you can do like different programming languages with syntax highlighting that Markdown is capable of doing. But it's like being able to like, it's almost like if you ever read like an O'Reilly textbook or something like that, or a book that has code in it, it's basically being able to do that, but also being able to like organize and have an outline and edit it and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. I would say screw around with it because it's a good way. Like I've used it to like look at code before I even have to run it and be like, that doesn't look right. Kind of refine it and then have like a good starting point. I don't know. I'm weird. I'm like scatterbrained, so I'll like use like one tool for like 3 months and then like try to look for something else that like I'll jump between Notion and Obsidian all the time. Like, and they don't like Obsidian doesn't even have project management thing, but like I don't know, dude. It's like I said, I'm all over the place with my stuff. I'm like a psychopath, man. I have to be constantly like, oh, what is this? What is this? What is this? And that's like the problem of me not finishing stuff. It's like I'll see like an opportunity to make a tool that'll make like making certain applications that I was working on at that moment in time like that in the future kind of thing. Like this started for me like making a Kiwi, like a headless API or a headless app for like WordPress applications. Then I was like, oh, well, what if I just refined the back end, blah, blah process, or like the front end with like juice, blah, 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 this and that. So I'm like, I'm creating all these tools based off of something I barely even started. Let me grab a Diet Coke. I'm going to step away for like 2 minutes. And let me open my Godot project. And let me give you an idea of where that's going. Since I've already kind of went over this. That'll be saved. I'll keep that up. That was me trying to connect to the Twitch API. Because I'm also creating a chat bot in tandem with the visual app builder that goes with Kiwi Engine and on top of the Grapevine, and infrastructure as code library with Nectarine, the database or the backend solution. What it's actually called? Tell me if this isn't a great marketing. Hold on, don't you go anywhere. Don't you go anywhere. I won't get a drink. But what Nectarine is a unified database management system. But essentially what this is the game jam is the theme is you are the weapon. And essentially he said basically like the Doom guy is a weapon. So basically if you're facilitating a whole bunch of like damage, you are a weapon, right? So I took that as a terminal based like war games kind of thing. So like I can quickly explain this with just simple UI I've already have constructed here, right? So you have this UI, correct? Let's just open this up as a dummy thing, right? I have this simple UI, like it'll be like you're on a computer, right? This will be a home bar. You'll have applications that you can click and open up different windows. And also with that, like you'll have chat windows that pop up with like avatar icons that have like dialogue saying, hey, what are you doing? This and that basically dictates the story. But the story is that you're just a simple IT worker working on a computer when a foreign entity, you have no idea, and by foreign you don't know if it's alien or domestic, saying like they wage you to a 1v1 basically in real-time strategy, and by real-time it's real, so to speak. So like you're waging this real-time battle from your computer that you can't leave kind of thing, but you're also like in control of missiles, army and stuff like that. Because I was like, oh snap, that's almost like basically a roundabout way of like what you're kind of doing stuff in a sense. It's like you're not building up resources, they're kind of already there, and you're kind of like strategically having to like hack and be like this general moving units, but like you don't have to know the deep strategy of it, so to speak, but basically it's a UI based game that's like terminal. So like it'd be like a terminal thing, like it's almost like you would do like fire, missile thing like that, like, and we'll do hellfire, and then you do number 12 kind of thing, you press enter, and then we'll code a command line kind of scenario where it'll say like how many missiles you want to fire, or we already said the numbers, like what's the target, and you'll look at a map, pull up like a dummy coordinates of like 1212, or you know what I mean, something like that, where you're just conducting all this stuff from the command line. But like I said, you can do missiles, helicopters, deploy jets, deploy bombers, deploy like SEAL Team 6 kind of thing. But like also at the same time, you're also in control of otherworldly units, because you don't know if you're fighting an alien or not. You're fighting an alien. So it's like you have to strategically figure out that you're fighting an alien by like doing controlled war over here and trying to find, like, you're basically trying to find where this person's like infecting your computer from. Like you would put in GD print in the terminal to send messages that you see, but everything would be C# code. Yeah, essentially, or like it would be a mixture, because like there would be a text editor plus like you'd almost do like bash scripting, where it's like, you know, you do command line stuff where you have to learn that kind of syntax. But it'd almost be super intuitive, like fire, blah blah blah. But you'll also have like a manual that you can reference to it at all times, kind of thing. But I don't know how to close windows, kind of thing. And like how I have this set up, it's like I was gonna ask, but like you were in your own stream, it's like, is it more important? I say more important. Is it everything supposed to like nest into one node, or are you supposed to have multiple nodes within the one 2D node? And is there such thing as groups, or do you have to like node them up together, like how these controls are here, like for the desktop icons kind of thing? I just don't know where to get started. You know what I mean? But that's the gist of it, so to speak. Okay, yeah, I have the one root node there, and everything comes from that root node. You just add a child node from there, but nothing. It doesn't have to be from the root node. Doesn't need to be a single root node that you add a child node and then a child node, like almost like a nesting problem that JavaScript has. Like you always have to like keep nesting or chain then statements to something. Because at some point, yeah, this will be like a fully functioning, like almost like a desktop kind of thing. If anything within these 2 weeks that I have to make this game, if I can just get the terminal working, that'd be great. Because like, but the only problem I have at this moment in time is that when you open the game, I don't mind this part at all, but you can't scroll within it. I mean, when you open it, it then reveals the entire game viewport. But is there such thing as like responsiveness with Godot engine, so to speak? Because like when I open, like boom, like right there, like I should be able to scroll over, you know what I mean? But is it because these control options aren't in the scroll container, vertical or horizontal? Is there such thing as having like a vertical and horizontal box that can do both? Well, yeah, just if like if the window, like how it starts, it's small, like you want to be able to pull it around. Is that even possible with a game engine now that I'm thinking about it? Like, do you want that to happen, or is everything in like a fixed position? Like, that's what I also noticed, that everything has like a fixed position. Okay. So, but should I just have one? Oh, I mean, I don't want one. I mean, how can you have two in one? Like you put one, like the horizontal inside the vertical, or do you put the vertical inside the horizontal? You know what I mean? So let's put that there and put that there. And everything is in relation to that container, right? Oh no. What is happening? So let's put that back up there, right? If we HBox container. There. I don't want to deal with the labels right now. Yeah, but still not. See, like, I'm not going to go deep into it. But, like, yeah, those are, like, the small problems. So, whenever I click that, so this thing, what is this green thing? That's the control. So, this thing over here is what needs to be, like, why can't I move that? Like this thing? That arrow? Or that plus thing? Oh, that bigger. That also made it bigger. You have to scroll like this every time? Scroll node. This thing? Ah, control. Where do you see yon? Very top white plus with green circle. Oh. Oh.
I don't see what you're talking about.
Like all I see, that's no 2D to the right of you. It almost says like to the right of you. Ah. See this? How much of a noob I am. So noobish. Toolbar at the top. Let me click control again. Toolbar at the top. Oh! Like that? That thing? Or this thing? I click control. This thing? Chat went through this with you. And would it be like that kind of stuff? Or... Whoa, 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 whoa. What does expand mean? Oh. I see. And boom, boom. My gosh. How do you like lock things? Can you lock things in place? There's just so much I have to learn. Okay, so if I click control, children of a container get their position size determined only by their parent. Feel like that kind of stuff. I'm just not well versed in this kind of stuff yet, because I'm sure that I need to create script classes for like programs. Because like I have, we went in. Did I close Pulsar? I think I did. I did. Doesn't matter. It's like there's like a chit chat program where there's like a fake like instant messaging, like almost like a Slack channel kind of thing, to where like it's basically a UI. Gotcha. Click on that panel. Anchors preset. Don't know what that means. This node does not have a control parent. See the circle thing at the top? Like this thing? Is this the circle thing? Like the green with the thing? Or is it like, I don't see any other circle things. So like, what's like the proper? If I just wanted this to have like a color background, I guess everything has to have a container. I've learned. And I guess color rect is what you use for backgrounds. Text edit for input. Rich text for out. This is just like, I'm trying to find like a good course. I say course, so like, I like books and like O'Reilly and Packet Publishing are like, your terminus panel would be centered and you would control that with a margin container. Oh man. That sounds like a lot. I say it sounds like a lot, but just like, you know, those like container for every, like, there's like, it seems like there's a container for everything. It's like, all right, if you want center your container, you want to use a margin container, but then like if you want you want a padding container, if you want like space around the stuff, but then like you want to put your text in a text container, button container. But I mean, I guess that would be. It's like if I had time, I would like try to do like the same similar thing in Unity, see which one was easier. Because like the biggest, before I ask or before I go too far in this project is that Godot, or like the Game Jam has, one of the stipulations is it has to play in a browser. Is Unity better for that, or is Godot well suited for that? I have the project set where it has like the web compatibility with it, but I just don't know how good it is. I didn't do much research. I just wanted to do a game with Godot.
Ooh. Boy.
Because I know Unity has that. They're really good with like UI based stuff. Oh, decisions. I just need to get better. I told myself I would use this game jam to get better with Godot, and I'm gonna do it. No, and I will tell you why. It is in a way, but like say like this, like with your margin, the margin container is like that should have been a property of the container. Like I should be able to set like how you can set the size of the container. I should be able to set the property of the contents of the container, so to speak. Just like once you put a text node into a container, like it's already going to have that automatic padding, or I mean, automatic margining to it, like because it's set on that container property. It shouldn't be a separate container. Like that's like almost too verbose. There are margin properties down the thing. Okay, cool. Like the overrides. Like say if I chose a container, theme, override, styles. Alright, if I did this text. It has certain things on there, like say like the containers don't have much as far as styles are concerned. So like you can't really, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's a little verbose. Like certain things do have those theme overrides, but like are there almost like, I guess what I'm looking at is more of logistical. It's like the margin property should just be a part of the container. You know what I mean? Like how you have layout, and here you would have children nodes of like, what do you want the children nodes to inherit based off this container? I want it to inherit this margin. Like it would be very few properties that you would want to inherit that could be margin padding or like font styles or whatever, but you would want like some sort of inheritance a little bit, you know what I mean? Yeah, go smoke, man. No problem. I was gonna grab my Diet Coke, but I was afraid you were gonna leave. Okay. I'll probably just need to do a little bit of my research. Let me pull up Godot docs while I go grab my drink. I'm gonna grab a drink. I go smoke as well, but I don't smoke cigarettes. It's just good to have up as Godot got. I almost made very bad verbal mistake. Godot docs is what I meant to say. That was almost bad. But I'll be right back. I'm used to OBS being on my left. BRB. right. I'm no longer stepping away. Okay, I am now on my other computer. Okay, what's up, dude? Hey, Killed by Dev. Met Lord Haywire. So I was thinking about like having like their games like minimized or whatever. Like at a certain point they kind of do cut off. So like, but I still would want at a certain point never even have it at this ratio that it would just be a smaller, little bit smaller version than what we had. But I would want all of the desktop there. I don't want them to have to be full screen. Remember, this is going to be in a browser, right? You know what? Let's do this. Let's save. Let's go ahead and build this. Web. Then let's. Here we go. We're gonna test this out. I have no idea what any of this means. So let's go ahead and call it release. Guessing. Did that E. Hacker me. Where's that HTML? We're having problems. Like it's all there. Like there's things that I don't even hit. Why? Console. Doors request, not HTTP. So what if I did this right? I'm gonna do it the hard way. Watch this. Watch me do me, dude. Get out of this. Exit. Exit. Where are we at? We're going to go back to E. Gdev. Hackerman. Hackerman. Dang it. Change directory. Dev. What? Change directory. Hackerman's. Hackerman. I can't remember which node has the same theme override from Arch, but I would probably use it more. You want your game to kind of look like your current screen, right? To a degree. But like you can do that to your terminal. Exit out or minimize it. Not as many programs, but like you're almost like a desktop. Like a terminal PC. And when I say terminal, like old school, like you sit at your terminal, not like terminal the program. I would call that the command line. I'm being pedantic. But essentially, yes, it will have a terminal function, but like these are all like simulated environments. So you can still do that and that if you wanted to. We got out of there. Okay, we're in there. So let's start a PHP, our own PHP server, and I'll show you why. I don't think we will need hackermans.html. Remember that hackermans.html, the localhost 2009/hackermans. Error. We got a different error that time. Oh, because there's not an error. So, there's the desktop, right? But when we do this, we still can't scroll because it's a web game. Like, we want that to be responsive, right? Essentially, like, yeah, it'll have this and that. You'll be able to typing. Be able to close the window or minimize it or maximize it to the viewport. You know, there'll be simple things. You know what I mean? You know what a computer is. But the web thing does work. So that's a plus. If you wanted to know. The web does work. But you can't run it locally because you have to do like this special CORS fetch thing. So just run a PHP server. If you don't have PHP installed, you could do that. So, like, how many, like, is container essentially control? So, what's is a tab container? No. I know what that a tab is. But say, like, if you have margin, right? Like, is there such thing as like a padding container? Split container. That's where you could you split the, like, make your own terminal, so to speak, with a window and subdivide the window with a split container. Okay, so in web dev speak, since if this was A to 4. All right, so say this was a div or a container in web development. Right? You have the margin. You would have the margin. Let's create it, please. Have a margin. Send it to me. Send it to me. Send it to me. So you essentially have two things. You have padding and margin. Change the essentially margin takes it away from the surrounding elements. So if you had like another div or a container here, margins created away. So you're creating a margin. But within this container, your padding happens within it, right? So everything goes this way, but you get more space this way from within your container. You're padding yourself from the walls of your container, and then your margins are creating white space between elements. Like almost like the margins of a paper, so to speak. Because that's essentially what HTML is, or any like or hypertext markup. Like it's almost like styling a document, because technically that's what they were when Web 0.0 first started. They were just ways to transfer documents to each other. So you almost treated it like that, so to speak. So padding is space from the boundaries of your element, and then margins from the outside, other element. If that makes sense. and that's your main container. So your padding, this is like your padding, so to speak, box or whatever, or that would be your padding. Sorry, would be like your border. Also plays into the size of the element. Have your margin. Yeah, so it's almost like a spacer, so to speak. That's it. Create. And I'm gonna put that in my scroll container. I'll put that in my terminal between here and there. Then, so where's its like property? Like, where does its property live? In theme? Okay. Okay. So if I want to do margin top, let's say 10. I'm not seeing like where that's like. Okay, I saw it just jump there. Or did I just moved terminal output. Where's my margin? Like I can see it a little bit. Or would I need a more like between that and that? I'm not seeing. Oh, it only affects its children. So I did that and that. Oh, because you have to put things inside of the container. So it's not like a spacer where you can just put it in and it automatically has this stuff. Okay. So then I can change that to 10. Is that like size? I might just restart from like the ground up one day and just have you in Discord and like share my screen, just because like A, the chat delay, A, and B, 2 A's, B, the time it is. I'm about to have to go to bed. Okay, so it goes by pixels. I get that. There's no relative styling. I'm assuming. Like I have to be really defined with what is happening here. So just, you know what I mean? Like, see, that's the downside of what the heck is this? Like this is supposed to be with the panel. There somewhere. Thank you. It's like everything's relative to its parent container and all that kind of stuff, and I don't know, man. I was just clicking around and yeah, so it's the only, until I get more like hands-on with the tool. So far, the web development comparison is boo. The only thing that it shares is some names of properties and the fact that things can go into containers, but essentially there's no container element in web development. A lot of things have like the class name of or container in like CSS, or we give them the ID of container, but there's only divs and sections and stuff like that. There's no such thing as container. Like there's the concept of container, but there's no like, you know, HTML element called container. It's just a philosophy. There's the word. It's a philosophy. And like a well-known like standard practice of calling it a container. But then sometimes people call it wrappers or a shell or this and that. So it's just whoever you're talking to. But the container thing is something to get used to. Because like this Godot as a thing intrigues me. This intrigues me. But I have the docs up on one monitor. I'll get to it this week. I think I'm gonna put some things on the back end, but wherever inspiration strikes. Because I do have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all day, so with my days off I can dedicate to it. A lot of the 2 games I really want to make are heavily UI based stuff. Like there's a trivia game, all UI, and then this game which is all UI. I do UI based things because I'm not good at art, and I want to have enough saved up to where I can hire like an artist to A, teach me, and B, work on stuff together and like do bulk load. But I want to be able to have somewhat creative control over the aesthetics of my stuff. So I get it, and the more I can do UI based things, the better. Because I mean, full stack web development is basically all UI anyway. That's essentially all it is. So taking those same kind of skills and putting them into a game would be kind of fun. But I also want to get better at like 3D modeling and material making and things like that. So little bits at a time. But that's essentially the game. So like, to expand on the story a little bit before I go, we'll say 4 minutes. I'm calling it in 4 minutes, right at 8 o'clock. So this foreign entity infects your computer, and it basically gives you all these weapons and says, hey, fight me, kind of thing. Like, what's that? Is it Highlander that's just like, no, that's Secondhand Lions. Way away from Highlander. But essentially this entity thinks it's hot stuff and is like, hey, here's all the tools you need to beat me. Fight me. It's like, oh, it's another episode. I think it's Rick and Morty where an alien shows up where you have to fight like a strong otherworldly creature. And if you die by it, like that's how you get to your heaven, by dying in honest battle. But it's like that. So you have all these tools of like hacking, military, like every tool's at your disposal kind of thing, but you can't leave your terminal. That's the caveat. But like, creating stupid programs that are like, that would never exist, like just for theoretical sakes, would be like a program called Bombs Away, where you literally pull up a program and it's only function is to pull up places and bomb them, like with a click of a button. Then you just go online and re-up your supplies. Like there'll be game mechanics in there to where it's not like point and click of destruction, where it's almost like GTA with cheats on kind of thing. But that's essentially what it's going to be. But I just got to get through this fudging UI, Godot, Node, container nesting, hoopla, and then we'll be able to move forward in this game jam. Because it is the Pirate Software Game Jam. If you go to, I don't know the full URL, but if you just go to itch.io game jams, Pirate Software Game Jam, that's the game jam I took a part of with this game in particular. So, if you're a part of it, good luck. If you want to help me with it, please. But if not, stay on the sidelines and try to help me with like bugs and stuff. I don't know. But you're allowed to have a team. I don't know if like when the submission is for the team. I need to probably check back on that. But you do have to submit a game design document, which I already have that kind of started anyway. But anybody's more, I think it's up to 5 people. I have 1 person, and that is me. So if you are more than welcome to You don't have to dedicate a whole bunch of time to it because I do want to take the bulk of the load. But if you want to take part of it, I have no problem slapping your name on there. Even if you put 30 minutes of total time in this 2 weeks. But it's 8 o'clock. I'm going to call it here. You guys, Lord, Killed, Dom, thank you for stopping by. I think there's a person that stopped by earlier. His name was F12. Something. Thank you for stopping by. Anybody that stopped by is watching. Thank you for stopping by. Y'all guys have a great start of your week, your work week out there. Stay positive. Help somebody like Lord did with me tonight. And we will see you tomorrow because I will be back here at 6 p.m. to continue this game. You guys are awesome. Bye.